there, I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canmore, Alberta, Canada. Welcome to Four Cards and Friends. So the taping on Wednesday had a little bit of a technical problem and so I wanted to redo it because these cards I think are fun and stunning and deserve a little more pizzazz and professionalism than what the video showed. So I'm actually redoing this video to show you off this beautiful designer series paper that we have on sale right now, which is buy 3 get 1 free. And so what an amazing deal to time to stock up on that beautiful paper that we all love so much. I love it. You can use it for scrapbooking or cards, but the reason why I love it is that it coordinates perfectly with the cardstock, the ink, the ribbon, and so Stampin' Up! Has kind of already worked through that process of coordination and making things match. And we don't have to do that. Where if you go to, say, a craft store, you pick out a beautiful piece of paper you absolutely love, and then you have to find cardstock that matches. And then you have to find ribbons or stickers or things that match. And sometimes that is quite difficult to do. So you may fall in love with your paper, but you may not be able to use it in the end because nothing matches with it, right? So Stampin' Up! Has already done all that work for you, and they have made it easy. So just an amazing reason why you need to stock up on your paper right now. Also, if you are a scrapbooker, this is a perfect time for you to stock up on paper, because sometimes when you're making scrapbooks, if you get pieces from here, there, and everywhere, the book doesn't have a nice flow to it, right? And so this way, if you buy a certain set, say the Bird Ballad designer series paper, then your book kind of has this cohesive feel to it. It kind of feels like it all goes together. It blends well. It just works. And so that is another reason why now is a great time. Now you may not want to buy 3 different kinds of paper, and that's okay. Maybe there's one that has caught your eye that you must have, but you would maybe like to have some of a bunch of different kinds. Well, let's start a share. So if there's one that piques your interest, let me know. And if other people put in their names for other ones that they absolutely love, then maybe we can, 4 of us can get together and split the paper 4 ways. So that way you get a collection of 4 different kinds of paper. Just an idea. So while we're going through this video, I would love for you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to jot down your favorite papers as we go through them together. All right, so here we go. Our first paper that I'm going to show off is this paper. Beautiful Perennial Essence Designer Series paper. Now this paper is absolutely stunning. It looks like Monet paintings. And in actual fact, it is. Somebody painted these designs and they took pictures of them, and this is what it's come up with. This paper I have bought 2 packs of because I've used so much of it. It kind of is amazing on its own. So if you are kind of a love it, chop it card maker, this, you cut a piece of paper, you slap it on a card base, and you put on a sentiment, and that is good enough. You don't have to do too much to it because it's that stunning. Also, I've seen a lot of people frame it. So they get a 12 by 12 frame and they just put the beautiful picture inside the frame, and voila, you have an amazing piece of art for your art room or whichever room in your house that it would go in. So that is a stunner. Now let me show you the card that I made using that set. Here we go. So this pattern that I'm using, which I will show you how to do at the end, is from Karen Titus, smart woman. I love how she uses the designer series paper in such a way that you can see both sides of the paper. Often that doesn't happen because we end up gluing one side to your cardstock base, your card base, and you don't get to see the other side. So this way you don't have to choose. You get to see both sides. So there we go. There's that beautiful Perennial Essence designer series paper. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This came from the Floral Essence stamp set. This beautiful saying and these flowers, which I cut out. And of course, to add to the inside and the flap onto our envelope just to make it a little extra special. So that's that paper. So if you love that paper, you need to write that down. Perennial Essence DSP, you can write. All right, our next paper. Two buttons. Here we have it. Is the See a Silhouette designer series paper. Now, if you are a bright and bold person, this is definitely for you. It's got all those primary colors, and it reminds me of my watercolor painting days when we used to use Misket, and Misket's kind of it's almost like rubber cement, I want to say. So before you start your painting, you would kind of draw whatever you wanted to stay bright white, and then you would add your paint over top of it once it was dry. And then when your whole painting's dry, you peel off the Misket, and wherever that Misket was is just plain paper. This reminds me of that because all of the items are outlined, the patterns are outlined in this bright white, but it's definitely stunning. It also reminds me of those watercolor crystals that we have now. Oh, just vibrant is the word I want to use. So let me show you what kind of card I made using that set. So here we are, and there again, this one I just added a sentiment, threw on some what are those called? Frosted and clear epoxy drops. Added a little zigzag of the polka dotted ribbon. Now, there was the design on the back. What I actually did was on the other side, it was just the red and orange color, but I wanted to add a little extra pizzazz to the front. So I actually took some of the paper that was remaining at the bottom here, cut out those flowers and attached them to the front of this card. Isn't that neat? Now, normally I would choose to flip. You have one side here and have another side here, but I decided it just looked nicer, I think, more cohesive, worked better with the continuation of the red. It's your card. Make it how you like. And of course, I added the little piece on the inside, added a little strip to the envelope, and voila, such a nice little card to give to someone for a birthday. Okay, on to our next paper, which is, oops, Come Sail Away designer series paper. Check this one out. It is definitely an amazing masculine set. There are neat stripes and patterns in this set that really, it reminds me of men's shirts. So if you need a masculine kind of paper to go for, you know, Father's Day, birthday cards, thank you cards, sympathy cards even, this is a great package to have. Now, I don't even own the stamp set that actually goes with this set. Every card that I've made using this set, I've actually cut out the compass that is on one of the pieces of designer series paper. So I'm going to show you, let's see, here is the card that I made, and this is what I mean. So every card that I've made, I've cut out this compass out of the piece of paper. You'll also notice I made a little border from part of one of the papers. I also used, one of the papers has a bunch of ropes on it, so I cut out the rope and added that. This is another piece of some of the designer series paper. I thought, oh, let's add our little thank you onto some of that striped paper. You'll notice some linen thread here, and here's a little key that is actually from the Bird Ballad trinkets. But I thought, you know, it's kind of appropriate. Oh, and this is part of our designer series paper too. So basically it's just a conglomeration of all sorts of the papers that come from this set. How neat. And on the inside, if you have one of these compasses or a partial piece of, say, the bird from the Bird Ballad suite, or a partial compass, why not cut it out and use it, but butt it up against the side of a paper, and it looks like you had cut it perfectly to kind of be as a little piece in addition to the card. So looks like I did that on purpose, right? How neat's that? Love that blue and white striped piece there. And for the envelope, just to jazz it up, I had a few little pieces extra, so I just layered them in a couple different stripes, and that's how I did that card. Beautiful masculine one, and great to have masculine themed thank yous on hand because they oftentimes get to be pretty frilly. So just an idea there. Okay, our next piece of paper is Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper. This is, I think, one of my favorites that I saw right off the hop. I love this paper. And so there are beautiful magnolias that in one of my creative escapes, I actually ended up coloring. So you can color those flowers and make them into different things. So one I colored in yellows and oranges, and it looked like a beautiful fall theme, like sunflowers almost. Another one I colored them in red, which made them look like poinsettias. Another one I did in blues, which was kind of just a nice light color that I used as a sympathy. Another one I did with the rich razzleberry on the black against the black paper, and it looked really antique looking. So I really like this paper. Here is the card that I made using this. It is a thank you card. Once again, I didn't really use any stamps from the actual stamp set other than this thanks, but this piece was actually cut out from the paper. As you can see, the back of the paper has many different flowers that you can either color or just use as is against this mossy meadow. I had this stitched oval frame, and I thought, oh, that'll be just perfect for this card. So that is the card that I made from this beautiful paper. Okay, let's go on to the next paper here. It is the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. Now, to be honest, this was not my favorite paper. However, I'm actually quite impressed with the cards that I have made using it. If you have a quilter in your life or a gardener, this is actually perfect because a lot of those prints are actual quilt looking pieces. And so I know I've made some cards like that, and plus with all the leaves and the beautiful foliage, perfect for a gardener. So let's check out what card I made here. Pretty nice, eh? I used some of the old olive colored vellum. I used the leaves from the Bird Ballad suite, and this is also from the Bird Ballad suite. added some linen thread and some, those are rhinestones from the Noble Peacock set. But see how those colors, they're just stunning. And the back looks like quilting. Looks so neat. So there we go. And for the envelope, I just stamped those same leaves and added the little thank you. Easy peasy. All right, next, moving on, let's go to Follow Your Art. Now this set, this is very neat in the fact that it's got glue guns, it's got buttons and paint brushes and pens and even those little binder clips. Just fun, this set. And so this is the card that I came up with. So it's got a lot of layers. So this one had the original layer. I layered over top another piece of designer series paper with the scissors. I added a little piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, stamped one of the ribbon images plus a little sentiment, added some colored epoxy drops, and I actually colored those with Mango Melody. Added this little strip too. Flip this is the opposite side of the paper, and it's kind of fun. I like it. So oftentimes I would have colored this ribbon image. However, I didn't have any of the Stampin' blends that matched with that. So I thought, you know what, this card already has enough color and enough pizzazz going for it that, you know what, it's probably good just being black and white. It actually makes it pop a little more because it isn't so, you know, wild as the rest of the card. So there we go. Here, let me show you the envelope here. Just added this same piece that is the other side on there like that. And that was that one. So if your children have, you know, an art instructor or even for just teachers, I think that would be a fun card to make. Next one is the Woven Threads Designer Series paper. Beautiful. If you are in love with the new in colors like I am, this is the set for you because it pretty much showcases those on every single piece of paper. I am thrilled with this one. So here is the card I made. Beautiful terracotta tile. We've got some of the in color faceted gems. I actually used the set that's called Beautiful Friendship because I really like the rose flower. I love the sayings from it. And this, of course, is the stitched nested dies. Added a little bit of the stamp kind of as a little background color to that die there, just to add a little pizzazz. And when you open it up, there's that beautiful terracotta tile and that nice design there. And the front of the envelope, there again, just added a piece on. And what a nice card to send to somebody just to say you're thinking about them. Love it. Okay, next piece is the Dino Roar paper. Oh my goodness, this is adorable for children. So yeah, I'm quite thrilled. This one again, I do not have this matching stamp set that goes with this. However, as you can see from the first dinosaur paper, there are a whole bunch of neat dinosaurs all over that page. And so what I did was I actually cut some of them out and added them to the front of my card. And so that kind of made up the biggest portion of this card. So I made it into a children's happy birthday card. Essentially, I stamped happy birthday here, and I used the itty bitty greetings. It was from that set, but it was a little crooked, and so I thought, uh-oh. What I'm gonna do is I just stamped it randomly all over the place, and it kind of, it worked. It was kind of a way to mask the crookedness of my original happy birthday stamp. So This is a bright paper, I will warn you. There's that bright crushed curry, and of course the little strip of the front color to make it all matchy-matchy. And on this one, I added that beautiful paper onto the flap of the envelope. Why not, right? The more paper you can use, the better. And I know a boy or girl could receive this card and be absolutely thrilled with it. Next off, we have one of my favorites, the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. And we're actually going to make a card later on with this set. Once again, I did buy the stamp set, and it does have beautiful birds that you can stamp and color, but really, once again, just like the Dino Roar set, see all those birds printed there on that paper? I have cut out so many of those little birds because I figured, you know what, they're colored so beautifully, they look wonderful as is. I don't have to do anything myself, so I'm just going to use it like the way it's already done. So here is the card that I made. So we've got the little caged paper, the feathers. I know these little wooden elements actually come from the new catalog. Oh dear, I've forgotten what they're called. But anyways, Lisa Harden had seen somebody actually color on them with the Stampin' Blends. And so I decided to try that with Pool Party, and that's kind of neat, a neat effect. So whatever is wooden, it kind of soaks into the wood. If it's white, kind of the white portion, it doesn't really soak in the best. And so it kind of leaves you with this neat effect. So here's the Bird Ballad stamp set. This was from the paper that I just cut out. Some vellum just to kind of mute down some of that. I've got my copper thread behind poking through, and of course that stitched nested label, stitched nested die, label die. One day I'll get that name for that thing. But of course when you open it up, those cages are on the back, got the feathers, and here is how I added a little piece to the envelope. Gorgeous paper, love it. Okay, and our last paper to showcase is the Pressed Petals Specialty Designer Series paper. And it's special because one of the sheets, which is the first page there, it actually comes with a whole bunch of kind of almost like mini cards that you could just cut out and paste onto the front of a card. And it would be beautiful as is. So this is actually a bunch of pressed flowers that have had their picture taken. So kind of like the perennial essence paper where it was painted and photographed. This is pressed flowers and it was photographed. So beautiful set. Here is what I created with this one. Got the beautiful flowers down the side, got a newsprint paper kind of look here. I cut out some of these flowers and added it to my kind of main feature. This saying is from the Bird Ballad Suite. Had to add my pearls, of course. And here's the opposite side. You know what would look awesome on here too would have been the washi tape that is actual petal, flower petal looking things like this flower. That would have been stunning on this card too. And so I like this too because it showcases very vanilla. Oftentimes things are whisper white. This one kind of is a little softer in that it uses very vanilla, and I just put a little strip up the side of the envelope. So there we go. There are all our designer series papers. And now I'm going to show you how to make this amazing fold that I learned from Karen Titus. Let me see. I just got to press the right buttons. Easier said than done. Let's go with this one, this one, this one. There we go. I feel like I'm playing, you know, finger puppets. The lighting is horrible. Soon, 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 I will be in my new art space and I will have my lights back. Right now they're all in storage, and so So I'm gonna make and do with what I've got here. So to start off, I've got a card base, the typical card base, measured at 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half, like so. And we're gonna actually take our paper trimmer, and hopefully you can see, but I'm going to line up where the crease is at the 1 inch mark. And I'm going to cut this section off. Save that paper because you can use that for different shapes to cut out. I'm sure you could use it as kind of some layers on your cards, what have you. Then take your designer series paper. I loved this color, this side of it, but to be honest, I didn't love this side. So this is going to be the first card where I actually change up the paper. Let's try something new, right? So before I get started on too many things, I'm actually going to make this into the paper that I want it to be. So on the back, I am going to glue a piece that I do like. So on the back of this beautiful bird paper is this beautiful petal pink polka dots, which I thought is stunning. So I'm just gonna layer this up, glue this on, and there we have it. So I think that's a little more my speed for sure. By the way, this size is 4 by 5.25. And now to kind of start assembling this neat card. This little tabbed piece, we're going to put some snail tape, or you could use some tear and tape. Make sure you put the glue along the edge as opposed to near the crease. Otherwise your card may just stick together. This part, we're going to lay whatever way you want facing out. Place it in the center. Kind of hold it down and close that little folded piece and give it a rub. There you have it. See how that worked? Simple. Makes it like a little book. Now, here is a little piece that is the back side of our card, and it is measured at 3/4 inch by 5.25. Oh, I like those two together. Stunning. And so we're going to showcase that on the front of our card. Don't just hide it in the back and the inside. There we go. I like that. Gorgeous. Okay. Next, let's add all the pieces that I think I want to add to the front. So there again, I cut out some of those beautiful birds already colored up. Cut it out. I've got myself a piece of Pool Party. Who would have thought? But it kind of goes. It matches the blue in the birds. It matches the blue in the flowers. And I thought, oh, this will make it kind of all tie together. So I have that. I have some of these flowers from the Gather Together stamp set. I've cut out with the framelits, and I don't know if you can see, but they have this neat ribbing on them, kind of the veins. And I wanted to kind of make them pop a little more, so I decided let's use some crumb cake and a dauber and see if we can get some of those veins to just pop for us. So if I rub ever so gently, it's going to go just mostly onto the raised portions of the leaf. Can you see it better now? You can see those veins better now. Yep, I like it. Okay, let's do the same thing to the other leaf. Whoop. This guy's decided to be a little curly on me, I don't know. But you know what? It might give it a little bit of a 3D effect. So I'm gonna run with it. Okay, I think that'll mute the white color for sure. Let's take our little piece of Pool Party and let's add some snail to it. Let's see, working on the fly here. Let's just go like so. I think that'll look pretty. Also, I have a little bit left of this linen thread, which I really quite like. I kind of want to do the twirl thingy. My technical term for it, yep. So I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers and cut it off with my paper snips. And let's just glue it on to this portion here. Just to add a little bit of something rustic. Like so. Okay, now I want to pop these little birds up because I think they're absolutely adorable and I want them to be a definite focal point. So I cleaned my desk today. You think I'm going to find my dimensionals? Here they are. So we have the large size and the small size. So I'm going to go in with the large ones first and see how we do. I think that's pretty good, but I do want a couple on some of these edges here. Maybe one more. One more in the tail here. Now we'll just take off the back of all that. So far, what is your favorite designer series paper? Mine, I definitely like this Bird Ballad one, and I'm in love with that Perennial Essence. Gorgeous. Okay, let's put this on where we want. I think like right there. Beautiful. Oh, that's okay. It's got a little dimensional behind poking through, but that's all right. Now I wanted to add a little hello. And so I've got a scrap piece of Petal Pink, and I think I'm going to use early espresso ink because that is the color that is actually used inside in this in these drawings. There's my little hello, which I'm going to cut out with my paper snips. I don't want it to be humongous. Just going to even that up a little because it's a little crooked. And I like this this cut. I learned this from Lisa Harden. I always used to make ribbon cuts, and then one day I'm like, I want to do something other than a ribbon cut, and I think I'm just going to put it down here. So I would like it to pop too, so I'm going to get those wee little mini dimensionals. I think they will fit. If they don't, of course you can always cut those in half. But they work, so we're in luck. Love these colors together. I love that about the designer series paper. Stampin' Up takes risks and kind of puts colors together that I would never think of to put together. I don't know if that's the same for you, but these little Bird Ballad trinkets are cute, and so I kind of want to incorporate one. I don't know if one would go there. I think it would. Or there's a wee little ribbon. I kind of like the flower, I think. Yeah, let's go with the flower. And the way we're going to attach that is with glue dots. So glue dots, of course, are these a roll of little dots of glue. And they're for little items like this that the snail tape just is not going to work on. And I tend to add quite a few because I want it to make sure that it stays there for a long time. Oh, that's looking stunning. Look at that. Good, good. Let's attach this. I think I want to use dimensionals. Let's pop it up yet again. Add a little piece there. Like so. Take off the backs. I tend to use a lot of dimensionals because it is kind of your only glue source, right? So use lots. Make sure it's stuck down there well. Oh, I am in love with this card. Now, do I dare add pearls? Now, where did I put my hair there? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Let's see. I'll get my take your pick tool. It's just screaming that, you know, kind of, oh, shabby chic look. And it has to have pearls. Okay, take your pick tool. Let's put one there. And let's go some over here. I see I got a bud hair in this card. I think most of my cards go out with bud hairs. Little black hairs. Let's put one up here. I think I'm happy with that. Now, so our outside is done, but I do, here, let's show this close up. This is beautiful. I do want to add some pizzazz to this inside. I want to add a little bit of a piece, so that I can write something. So let's jazz that up by placing one of these little pattern pieces on the bottom. Or you know what, let's be different this time. Let's add it to the top. I put them all on the bottom in the cards before. So let's go. Now here is a trick that I want you to take note of, because you don't want kind of white showing around your main designer series paper. So lay it on the back side, lay it over top, and then close your card onto it. That way you can't see white peeking through. Isn't that cute? Love it. Now I think we should jazz up the envelope. Let me grab one here. Our Whisper White envelopes fit perfectly with these cards. And I have a little strip left over of this beautiful paper. So let's just attach it to the side there. And of course, anybody who gets this in the mail gets kind of a sneak peek at what might be inside. And there we have it. A little bird ballad card. I see my paper's all messy here. All right, there we have it. So, if this has shown you some of the neat papers that we have on the buy three get one free sale, and one is definitely standing out for you, I suggest that you go and order it. My ordering information will be on the page, and it says shop online or shop my online store. And so if you click on that link, that will take you right to my Stampin' Up store. It also suggests a host code. So if you are placing an order that is under $200, please use that host code. That kind of helps me out and allows me to get little gifts for my customers. So in turn, I take that and send it back to you. So I hope this has inspired you to give this technique a try. Showcase your beautiful designer series paper. Also had a chance to have a look at all the different papers which are in the catalog, which are absolutely stunning. All right, have a wonderful day.